If you're rotting in bed right now and beating yourself up because you're rotting in bed and last night you were planning your entire rebrand at 2 a.m. on Pinterest, then hear this. Our brains love us so much that it's constantly on the lookout for threats, and usually the threat that we're perceiving is just any disruption to our normal way of living, even if our normal way of living sucks. But if we keep choosing some sort of misery state or like misery habit that we don't like, that isn't in alignment with the things that we truly want, it trains our brain to think, oh, well, this thing is safest. These things are our comfort zone. And when we leave the walls of our comfort zone to go and get after the things that we want, the career, the partner, the lifestyle, the friendship, the dynamic with our family, whatever that is, when we start to tiptoe out of that comfort zone, you planning your entire rebrand at 2 a.m, when we start to tiptoe out of that comfort zone and now it's the morning time and now we have to do the thing, that's usually when all the self-sabotaging mindsets pop up, or the self-sabotaging habits like rotting in bed. We think, oh, I can't email that brand, they're gonna ignore me. This job requires 7 years of experience, I only have 4. So I just shouldn't apply to this. I can't date that kind of person. Those kind of people don't date me. Only A-list actresses get roles like this, so I'm not even gonna audition. And a lot of people, not everybody, people have different coping mechanisms, but a lot of people respond to this by freezing, by doing nothing. And it usually manifests as this mindset, whether you're aware of it or not, as, well, if I never try, then I can never fail. And one way that some people respond to freezing is just going mind over matter, full throttle, I'm gonna do this thing, and then they go nuts, and then they burn out, and they get back into the cycle of rotting, going full throttle, rotting, going full throttle, and they can't sustain the thing or the life that they want. So, how do you get out of that? As we discussed in part 1, a lot of people's response to freeze mode is just to go full throttle, force themselves to do it, mind over matter, but a lot of times people can't sustain that motivation and they end up burning out and rotting in bed and then beating themselves up for rotting in bed, and the cycle begins again. And all of this happens is because we swung way too high and it signaled to our brain, okay, this is scary, this is unsafe, why don't we just go back to our cozy little comfort zone? So, how do we make everything a little less scary and create a new comfort zone? Number 1, define one task or one project that you've been procrastinating on. Not 15, just one. And if you're having trouble with prioritizing what you want to do and you're getting stuck in decision paralysis, then I'll recommend this video on my YouTube channel, and it's gonna be linked in my profile to help. But just define one task or project. Next, break this task or project down into teeny tiny steps that take 15 minutes or less. Steps that feel like, that's all I have to do? That's nothing. That's the point. And if even amassing this list feels overwhelming to you, then go smaller. What are the first 3 steps? What is the very first step? Recently, one of my steps was to make a list of all of the screenwriting fellowships that I wanted to submit to. Notice I said fellowships, not fellowships, grants, classes, virtual and in-person workshops on the business of screenwriting. Nope, just fellowships. And once I did that, I felt so proud of myself. And oftentimes when I do this, I won't even notice that my 15 minutes is already up because I'll be so engrossed in this. And after I do whatever my teeny tiny task is, I like to reward myself with something that I like doing, with something that is comfortable, so that I can retrain my brain to say that, hey, this is also comfortable. This is safe. This is our new comfort zone. And if you want to reward yourself with going back to bed, okay, I'm not gonna whack you. You already did your 15 minutes. And guess what? You are now 15 minutes closer to your dream life. You are now 15 minutes closer to your dream bank account, your dream friend group, whatever it is. You are 15 minutes closer now. The quickest way to glow up is just by habit stacking, using the habits that the glown up version of yourself would have. And this is especially helpful if you're procrastinating on implementing these habits, or you're just in freeze mode, which we talked about in part 1 and 2. So what does this look like in action? Number 1, find a habit that you already do, something that's already solidly baked into your routine. Walking your dog, making your bed, brushing your teeth, watching your favorite TV show. It doesn't have to be anything complicated. Number 2, take one of the habits that you believe the glown grown-up version of yourself would have, and then do that habit immediately after the first habit or during the first habit. So for me, there are podcasts that I listen to every single week, but I tell myself I can only listen to one of those podcasts while I meal prep my healthy little meals. The podcast is still being listened to, but I just added in my little it girl habit. Double stacking also helps, and for double stacking, all you need is a trigger habit, a fun habit, and an it girl habit. So my trigger habit is walking my dog. He has to get walked. It's gonna happen at a certain time. There's nothing I could do about it. Well, I guess there's something I could do about it, but whatever. That's always gonna trigger me to get up, okay? So my trigger habit is walking my dog. My fun habit is watching an Aaliyah's Face vlog. Love her vlogs, okay? And then the it girl habit is working out. So after I walk my dog, I'm gonna get inside and I'm gonna put on a long Aaliyah's Face vlog. She uploads like hour and a half long vlogs. Gonna put on her vlog and I'm gonna whip out my little stepper machine and I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna do my little steps. Beautiful. If you need reinforcements, then immediately after you do your it girl habit, then follow it up with something that's really comforting, something that you enjoy doing. So for me, that's writing. I love getting lost in my own little world that I created. So after I do my little it girl habit, my little workout, or I submit it to some competitions, I put myself out there, then I'm gonna go and write. Fantastic. Tell me what your it girl habits are in the comments. And if you have no idea what the habits are of the grown-up version of yourself, or you don't have a clear vision of yourself or what you want, you just know that you want better, then I'll have the Reset and Reinvent Yourself workbook linked in my profile so that you can develop your it girl habits.